Welcome back. In the last episode, I showed you how to set up the FMC, quickly set up the aircraft, but I did not show you how to run some tests. And these tests are actually done before doing the FMC. So generally, what we want to check is that everything is working fine. The first thing that we want to check is the lights, and we want to check that every light is turned on correctly. Check here, here, here. Everything is light up. Everything is correctly set. So yeah. And we want to also dim and see that everything is working fine here. And we can do the fire test also. Yes, everything is working fine. Everything is looking good for me. We can also test the weather tests to see that everything is working. And I will set the transponder here to 1000. I'll verify that everything is working here also.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear. Terrain, terrain. Pull up. Airspeed low.
It's working fine here. So the tests are done, and normally we will be waiting for the passengers to come here to our stairs. And the first thing that we want to do before pushing back and the starting the airplane is actually to start the APU. For the moment, actually, what we are using is the GPU, which is the ground power unit, and we will be using the APU. To start the GPU is actually pretty straightforward. What we want to do is come here and turn this to on, then click on start and turn the APU bleed. You will see something that it will be the EGT, actually the exhaust gas temperature here, that will be turning up, then will descend. When it will be descending, we will see a small signal right here, which means that we can use it and disconnect the GPU. So the APU is available. So to use it, it's simply as pulling this and this. And everything is actually working fine, and we need to disconnect the GPU like this. So now our aircraft is actually on its own power, using its own power. What we want to be using here is going to the ground operations and disconnect basically everything. Uh, for example, go here and disconnect and remove the chokes. And now what we will do is actually call GSX. And GSX is an util that is a payware also. That we will be using to actually use it for pushback and all the ground handling stuff. So it costs $30, I guess. Let's say it's not an obligation. There is a free tool out there, but for me, it's a good add-on. Not gonna lie. So we'll request the pushback here. Prepare and pushback and departure clearance. So for the sequence of event, what we want to be using is set the position here, the logo, and anti-collision, and these can be turned on. So for the sequence of event, how it will be working, so This actually is the information about the engine. All the informations here are necessary to start up the engines. So one thing I think I forgot is test that this test. Yeah, so everything is working fine. So the all the information about the startup will be run right here, and the sequence will be to run the engine start until it says here that we have a stable value of around 25. Then set the these cutoff switches, put them into on. So I will catch you on the preparation for this flight. Stop at the sequence of events for actually preparing the aircraft. What we will be doing here is actually starting up the engines and doing some checklists for the pre-departure and taxi to the runway. So I will set the GSX to the nose left, and I will show you how the engines are started. I will quickly remove the parking brake here. Yeah. So what we want to be doing here is set the engines from right to left. So this is the second engine. So I will set this to the left on ground and verify that this value is rising. If it's not rising, you just check these settings that are done correctly. Isolation vibe should be at auto, APU bleed, and these packs are off. So we can see that the value is around 25, 26. We can set the fuel. And I don't know if you heard a small click. There is a click which basically sets this value from ground to off. And I will just see that the value here is at 60 and here the value is at 20, which is stable, and we can start the second engine sequence. So So here is the engine rising, and once you will reach 25, you can set the fuel to the position. And actually, the aircraft, as I told you, is going from engine 2 and to engine number 1. Just hear this. Just watch this. Yes. And everything is good. So, what we will want to be doing next is actually turning it off for the APU, because it's an engine and the engine should be stopped. I mean, the APU should be off as soon as the engines are running. So to shut off the APU, what we want to be doing is click on this button here and this button here and set it to off, and then set the left pack to auto. The right pack should be at auto. Isolation valve should be at auto, and the APU bleed should be at auto. And now what we want to be doing is setting the flaps, and flaps will be at 5. The indications of the flaps is right here. We want to check that the flaps are at 5. We can also see that some information here on the FMC. The flaps are out. We can set the auto brake here at RTO, which stands for rejected takeoff. And what I want to be doing here is set the engine parameters here and set the system. I will show you why. So the flaps are at 5. The thing is at RTO. And we want to check that our flight controls are working correctly. So to check this, well, it's simple. We will take our yoke. The yoke is this thing here that controls the horizontal stabilizer, not the, I mean the ailerons and the, I forgot how to say. That controls actually, so the yoke is the this thing that controls the aircraft directions, etc. So what we want to check here is, for example, if I turn my yoke right, that the ailerons here and the spoilers are up. On the left side, check that the ailerons and the spoilers are up. If I push down, the elevator should be off on the downside, and if I push it up, I will check that it's going up. I will also check the rudder by pressing right, and the rudder by pressing left. So yeah, everything is working fine here until now. So and here we can check the some checklist. Normally we have a checklist to follow, but anyway. So what I want to do next is start to taxi. To taxi, it's pretty simple. You turn on the taxi lights. Normally you contact the ATC, and he will give you some instructions to follow. So yeah. And basically what I will do here is to taxi to the active runway, which is runway 25 right. We are actually here, so we will take a left turn on Charlie 4, then continue straight ahead on Bravo, left turn on Alpha. So we will see the takeoff roll, how we do it. So the first thing that we want to do is set the engine start mode at continuous and set the strobe lights on. Remove the taxi light, the runway take and turn off is on, and the landing light is on. We can see that we are on the threshold here. The departure is just right here. I mean the runway is just right here, 25 right, as you can see. And so yeah, and what we want to do is go here and set the transponder mode at TIRA and verify that we have the traffic right here. And the before takeoff checklist, I did it also in the last episode. So the flaps is at 5 green lights and the stabilizer trim is at 5.3. We cross check. So what we want to do is actually go here, set the auto thrust and arm it, and set enough. So this mode in particular allows us to follow the lateral path of the aircraft that we already programmed. We can use two modes, either the NAV that follows the what we programmed in the FMC, or the heading bug right here. So for the takeoff roll, so I need to explain to you what we will do. So in the first hand, we need to stabilize our engines at a certain rate. Basically, we'll set the engines at 40%. When we see that everything is stable, we can set the takeoff thrust. So in the PMDG, there's a quick button here that allows us to, or here, to set the toga button, which is the takeoff go around. In this case, I will not be pressing it since I have it on my honeycomb. So yeah, that's a quick thing to note. So start right here and just remove the parking brake and start our roll to the runway. And actually, we will, once these engines are stable, we will set the chrono here so we can follow the flight time. So just a quick check. Nobody on left, clear right side and clear left side. The lights, landing lights are on. Cabin crew is advised, and engine mods is at continuous. Strobe lights is on, and before takeoff checklist is complete. So we will line up on the runway, and then we'll start our takeoff roll. Normally, if I was not recording, I would start the takeoff before that, but I wanted to show you how we do it. So we set here, and what we will do is, as I told you, set the engines at 40%, see that everything is stable, and set the forward thrust right here. Start our chrono and toga. Thrust set. Check. Release forward pressure. Rotate. Gear up. And here I will follow the LNAV. So yeah, this is the takeoff roll. I'll just follow the, make sure to follow the path here. And so yeah, after that we'll start to accelerate a bit. So what we will do normally is set the speed at the heading bug at flaps 1. And what that will do is basically follow. So we are going through the transition altitude, and now I will start to retract the flaps. Flaps 1. And use actually there's some of the trim to counteract the effect of acceleration. And quickly what we will do is set this, remove the lights. The engine start is set as continuous and normal. I cannot set this to ground, so yeah. Normally I put it on off, but I have a bit of problem with it because I don't have the right things. So yeah. Now, for now, I will set the autopilot. To connect the autopilot is pretty simple. You just go here and click on the the command button here. So the aircraft will fly on itself, and yeah, just to sum up what we will do, we'll just use the after takeoff checklist. So the engine bleeds is on, so everything is on. The packs are on auto. The landing gear is up and off. I cannot set it on off, but anyway. The flaps are up and no lights. After takeoff checklist complete. So, basically, that's the most important thing that you need to be doing. After that, on the cruise, you just need to follow a bit of what we need to do. On the cruise, you don't do anything else. You just need to follow a little bit the path, and I will check. I will see you on the descent preparation, and yeah, see you on the next one.